We're going to go over some great information with Illuno today. This is a company, folks, that I got introduced to a couple months ago, and we're just coming up to the point where in a week and a half, we're actually the pre-launch is official. And I'll tell you right now, if you are someone who's been lucky enough to have been invited by people who see what's going on here, my advice is pay attention. There's something here that is what we call different. So many companies out there, they're trying to do something a little better than another company that's out there. The problem is you got this one's doing better and that one's doing better. But guess what? The best better is different and unique and something that when you're going out there, you're not actually competing with other companies. We have a solution that you don't see anywhere else. Why? Because it doesn't exist anywhere else. So think about being able to get paid by the hours worked by somebody else. And a lot of times people look at that and they say, well, is that legal? Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, it is. And the nice part about it is there's reasons for it. There's reasons that this company has come into existence and has really now been pushed to the forefront. Because think about this for a second. We are a world that seriously needs protection of what's going on, especially what's been exacerbated over the last number of years, especially the last 4 or 5 years. You're looking at, think about this, vehicle thefts from parking lot, $8+ billion. Retail theft up 70%, which has cost businesses over $120 billion in 2023. Folks, that's an insane amount of money that the reality is we pay for that. And why does that happen? Well, because companies don't have security. See, we offer a better way. We offer a way to hire off-duty police officers. A lot of times they refer to them as ODOs, off-duty officers, ODOs. And we do it in a marketplace-based app, and it's all on demand. So think about, we all know what Uber is. I shouldn't say we've all used it. Most of us have used Uber over the last 12, 13 years. And what did Uber do? They created a marketplace that connected riders and drivers. All right, you didn't have to call a taxi anymore. You didn't have to reach out to a car service. You didn't have to make stuff in advance. No, you didn't have to do any of that. All you had to do is put an app on your phone and get in there, create a profile, and when you needed something, you put it in. It came up with a quote. You hit, yep, that's where I want to go from the airport to my hotel. It's $36. Yes, I'm going. Okay, great. And they'd show up in 3 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it was, depending on how busy it is, and they bring you to where you got to go. It's simple, it's straightforward. Everybody is familiar with it now, and they've used it over the last, like I said, 12, 13 years. How cool is it that we have the ability to do the same thing with off-duty officers and reconnect them to their communities? You see, because what a lot of people don't understand is the off-duty officer market is about a $30 billion industry that is totally stuck in the past. Most people, again, don't realize that 50% of law enforcement officers' take-home pay over the year is typically 50% comes from doing off-duty work. There's also another 50% of so there, in my opinion, I just need you to understand this for a second. So 50% of the jobs go unfilled. All right. So 50% of their income comes from off-duty work. It's a $30 billion industry. All right. Think about the top two information. $30 billion industry, 50% comes from there. So that means if you look at the second one and only 50% get filled, that means that 30 billion should be 50 to 60. That means the off-duty officers should be able to actually take home more of that. That should be a 60% or 70% because that's what's available to them. They're just not getting it right now. All right, which causes the officers to lose income because they're not getting all the different shifts that could come up. And why is that? Well, typically because they're done by a human who is sitting at a desk and they're a coordinator and the job comes in from somebody, a business in town, and they do their best to fill it. Well, they only work so many hours a week, so many hours a day, so many hours a week. And if they don't fill it in that time, they don't work from home trying to fill these jobs. So what we do is we have, again, that platform that hooks people up, doesn't matter where they are, where they're sitting. All right, we don't have the officers losing income anymore, and we're trying to take away the vulnerability of our neighborhoods and communities. So instead of the industry average, which is about 50%, Illuno boasts a 99% fill rate. All right. We bring businesses that need the protection together with off-duty officers. Folks, we are helping to protect our own communities. All right. So why Illuno? Well, folks, you're talking about seamless booking. Typically, there's a lot of phone calls back and forth. I need to typically to call in, talk to the coordinator. The coordinator is going to figure out how to, which officers can do it. They're going to go back and forth. Hopefully, they're able to do it. Then they're going to call into the business, find out exactly what the duties are, what time to show up. So all those details, it's constantly going back and forth. Illuno does this on the fly. The business owner simply puts all this information in. It goes into the system. When the officer sees it, chooses it, it comes to him. And there's also the ability of two-way communication directly with the officer and the business owner, not having to go through somebody else. All right, you get the ability to choose the officers for your needs. So if you are running political events or events where you need K9 units or SWAT units or things like that, we have that ability in the Illuno system. There's even a white glove service that can help people to do that as well. And the fair and transparent pricing, and I'm going to go back to Uber here for a second, you know what your pricing is before you hit go. All right, same exact thing here. As you put it in, there's no hidden fees. It lays out for you, this is how much it's going to cost for the amount of officers you needed, for the time period, for the days. However you laid it out, it'll come up there in a full quote. And at that point in time, the business owner looks at it and goes, yep, that's what I want. And that's what they get. So sometimes people say, well, why off-duty officers as opposed to security guards? Now, there's a lot of security guards out there that are good folks, but the reality is over the last number of years, they've basically become scarecrows. And I don't mean it in a derogatory sense. It's just the fact that in most businesses are not allowing them to engage. So therefore, they're standing there, worst case, wagging their finger at someone or yelling at someone as they're stealing stuff going out of a store. They can't put hands on in most cases, which is unfortunate because if they could and they did, obviously the bad folk would learn a little bit more. But the problem that you have is too many people are getting sued, and I'll get into the risk mitigation on that. And the store owners have told them, hey, listen, don't put your hands on. See, the police officers come with a totally different approach. They're there, they have the authority and actions. They can arrest, they can cite, they can enforce, they can do it all. The public has a significant amount of trust when they see a police officer standing there, because most of the time they know people are not going to do something hopefully really stupid. Some people will do some stupid things here and there, but hopefully they won't do something really stupid when there's a police officer, so they're going to feel safe. The guards, unfortunately, lack the authority, and they're not a deterrent like they used to be in the past. The other thing that really helps to give confidence on both sides of the equation is the company called IDEME. They are the top vetting company globally. They vetted all different federal agencies. All right. They also have vetted almost 600,000 law enforcement officers in the United States, which is why we have partnered with them. All right, Aluno has partnered with IDEME to be able to work to get more and more police officers in all the different areas that we are expanding into. IDEME also, when the customer goes into the platform, they're going to get an IDEME link, and they go through that quickly. And what it does, it also proves that the customer is real too, because we never want to put law enforcement officers in danger by sending them to a location that isn't safe, that aren't real people. You just want to make sure you got real people, a real business, and that the law enforcement officers are showing up to do their job. You know, there's so many more benefits to utilizing Aluno to hire off-duty police officers. Obviously, you know, we talked about a little bit of it before. They can take that immediate action with legal authority. We're helping to rebuild those strong community bonds and relationships. But think about this. Think about the quick response. Think about if there's an emergency that happens at whatever business you're at, whether it's a ball game, whether you know they're going into if they're in a mall and somebody falls, they have the ability right there. They have a radio to be able to call in immediately, get quick response. They know how to word things, so they get that quick responsibility, the quick response to the location. They have the professionalism and reliability. These guys obviously know what's going on, and they have the access to more law enforcement resources should they be needed. All right, social proof, folks, we see it each day more and more and more. Business owners very, very happy talking about, and we're going to start having some of these testimonials on here. We've got little videos coming through. We have some written ones. Business owners talking about, you know, this is great because Aluno is now filling 100% of their shifts. Understand they were being filled on average about 50%, which what does that do? It leaves them vulnerable. All right. If they were trying to get one officer there and they only show up half the time, well, guess what? That's not doing very good. If they're trying to get 2 or 3 or 4 there and only 2 or, you know, let's say they were trying to get 4 or 5 and only 2 show up, well, guess what? That puts a little extra burden on the officers too. Okay, so the officers like it because it's easy work to find for them, and we're looking at 1,000 plus users that are utilizing the system, putting jobs, putting events into the system, and getting them filled at a very rapid rate of speed. So it's good stuff. And how do they do it? Well, folks, 3 simple steps. I mean, all they need to do is they sign up. All right. So what we're talking here is we're talking about how do we, all right, as referral partners, how are we able to take advantage of what you just saw? Okay. What you just saw is a phenomenal fix for a problem that's rampant all over our country. We can actually earn dollars. And how do we earn them? We earn them, as I laid out before at the very, very beginning, we get to earn dollars on every single hour worked. So how do you get into that? How do you get started with Aluno? It's pretty simple. It's about a 2-minute sign up. Watch a quick start video that's in the back office. You share it with local businesses. You tune into overviews, and we do overviews on Tuesday and Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We do a training on an update and training on Sunday, also at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And you have the ability to go out and get customers and earn $2.50 per hour that are worked. So I go get a customer, they hire officers. I don't know how many officers they're going to hire. They can hire 1, they can hire 50, they can put in 8 hours a day, they can put in 1,000 hours a month, however many hours that they decide that they need and they put through the system, we get $2.50 per hour. Folks, that is obviously amazing. But you also have the ability, if you so choose, to bring on other people to be able to do the same thing that you're doing. So we're going to teach people how to do it. We're going to teach them how to do that $2.50 per hour. All right. We're going to teach them how to share Aluno with local businesses. Again, the local businesses, same thing. They sign up for free, post shifts. We earn that $2.50. Every officer, every hour, every shift, forever, for as long as they are a customer of ours. And even if you haven't done this before, we can show you how to do it. We can show you some of the prompts to get into the companies, to be able to have the correct conversation with the companies, to be able to pull that information out of them, exactly how they hire their off-duty officers now, what are their needs, how many locations, all of that information. And you don't have to give them much information back at all. You just give them a couple little tidbits, sign up a three-way, set them up a three-way call with myself, one of the other leaders, or a Zoom, and we will get on there and we will help walk them through. By you utilizing and getting that information ahead of time, it gives us a quick little insight to what's going on. And then when we hop on, we'll have them reiterate some of that and then get into simply the solution for them. Think about this. They do not have any cost whatsoever to our software. Whether they use it on the phone, whether they use it on their desktop, there's no cost for them to use the software. The only thing they pay for is the officers, and it's based on their needs, when they need it, how they need it, and so for each particular job. The nice part is for us, I'll go back here for 1 second, there's no cost for us to sign up as referral partners as well. Okay, so you can get in, get started today, have you making calls by tomorrow, and setting up phone calls, setting up three-ways. This is how we get it done. This is how we grow it. Why is it that? Because that is what we do. I will never tell people what we do is easy. What I will tell you is what we do is simple. There's a simple, quick little process. And what does it do? Well, the math starts to kick in, and then you kind of look at, okay, does this math work for me? Is this something that I want to do? Well, let's take a look at it. All right. Let's say 3 customers. You get 3 customers on your own, just not even building a team. This is just you going out and getting 3 customers that do about 80 hours a week, 240 hours a week in total. That's gonna pay you about $600 a week, about $2,400 a month. So the question then becomes, would you stop there if you had those 3 customers? Or would you look to add maybe 1 a week? I know some of you are sitting there going, 1 a week? I was going to add a lot more than that. That's fine. But understand that the bar is low here to be able to make meaningful money. All right, sometimes some different companies you see, you have to have hundreds and hundreds. I did electricity, folks. All right, for me to make $1,000 a month, I typically had to have on my team at least 500 to 800 customers. 500 to 800 customers is what I needed to make at least $1,000 a month. When you compare that to what we're looking at here, this is 3 customers. Okay, that you start to see the difference. You start to see, who are some of the people that we should talk to? The people that do commercial energy, the people that do ERC, that employee retention tax credit, the ones that did that. These are all people that talk to businesses on a regular basis. These are folks you want to talk to because the math here will really get to them pretty quickly. Okay, so what's my risk? Well, there's no cost to join. You don't need any tech skills, and we will walk you through everything. And sometimes people say, well, what if it doesn't work? I'd like to ask you a better question. See, what if it doesn't work means you have exactly what you have right now? All right, if it doesn't work for you, you have nothing. Maybe you put in a little bit of time to try it and it didn't work for you. you've lost nor gained anything. But the better question is, what if it actually worked better than you can imagine right now? I can tell you that however big some of you are going through the numbers in your head and you're trying to figure out, wow, this could be a lot of hours, this could be that. All right, this also pays if you build a team, this is going to pay you significantly um, for overrides on that team. They're going to get that 250 an hour. You're going to pick up 50 cents or 25 cents or 50, depending on where they are in your organization. Folks, the overrides are great. Obviously, the dollars for signing up customers and the hours that you get paid on is phenomenal as well. So whatever you're thinking, whatever number is in your head, add a zero to the end of it. Because I'm telling you right now, there's a lot more here than many will see on the first glance. All right, you help businesses thrive, you help the officers earn money, you build wealth, all while making the city safer. Folks, that's not a win-win-win. That's 4 wins.